There we go. See, we're here, and it's only 1 minute late. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
We arrived. Welcome to another webinar collaboration with Conversion Chemistry, marketing agency near you. And today with our guest, Angelique Flynn from Whole Image Wellness. I'm going to be doing a presentation today called Wellness at Work. And this is really cool because it's actually something we haven't done here before, Conversion Chemistry, which is, well, I'm told this is going to be a little interactive. Part of the presentation is that, there's yoga and techniques and positions and breathing exercises that can be done in the workplace to manage, mitigate, and even remove stressful situations. Usually we talk on here, but this is going to be more interactive and experiential, which I'm really excited about. So I'm here, of course, with my co-host, Missy Jones, not related to Jonesy in any way. We're possibly related cousins through your husband.
Who knows?
We'll figure it out someday when they cut our rings open, like a tree. I don't know. Yep, Missy, the project manager of Conversion Chemistry and marketing agency near you, and we're joined by our friend, our colleague, our client, Angelique Flynn here. You said the founder of Whole Image Wellness. You do a lot of stuff with that. You're an Ayurvedic practitioner. You're a yoga instructor. You're a Reiki master. And you combine all of this into basically promoting and practicing and teaching wellness and guiding others through that. And, not just in the context of personal lives, but within work, which, that's what we're all about with this show, is the entrepreneurial experience. So I'm gonna let you take over here and kind of fill in the gaps on the introduction here about, what it is you do, and who you like to work with and who you think you can help.
Okay. Hi, my name is Angelique, and I am a certified Ayurvedic practitioner. And I'm going to explain what that's all about when I go through my presentation here. But I mostly work with, people who have any kind of health problems or issues, and it could be serious, a chronic issue, or it could be someone who just doesn't feel well and they don't feel like they're performing to their best, and their doctor has poo-pooed them because they've said there's nothing wrong with you, your blood work's fine, everything's great, but they just don't feel like they're at their optimal. And that's where I come in. I try to help them make small changes to their lifestyle, their diet, their routines, and any herbal supplementation or exercise practices such as yoga to help them feel their best and perform at their best. And so that's why I feel like I'm, uniquely situated to help people in the professional world as well as in the yoga and fitness world. And so I do yoga teacher trainings as well, and I lead yoga retreats around the world. But I also work in this way, one-on-one with people.
All right. So it sounds more complementary to traditional medicine than a replacement. Okay.
Yes.
Do you prefer to work with men, women, both?
I mean, I can work with anybody and children as well, but, most of my clients are women in their 40s and beyond who are experiencing perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms. That's who I specialize in, but I have helped people of all, both genders and children as well. So.
It's important to have your ideal client profile without closing the doors to everybody else. So that's the best of both worlds right there. And I ask because very recently a friend of mine had gone through a series of like PT for like a knee injury and stuff and was sidelined from his activity for months and months and months. And the doctor said, well, there's nothing wrong with you. Well, we know there is. He knows there is. All right. So that, right there is like somebody I would refer to you for like, okay, how can we supplement what obviously is a medically healthy knee, but we know it's not, whether it's inflammatory, like there's any number of reasons.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I went to an orthopedic doctor and I said, I just need the testing, the diagnostics to tell me exactly what's wrong with my back so that I can heal myself. And he said, okay, I'll send you for the MRI because you're already doing all of the things that I would tell my patients to do. And that's the beauty of holistic medicine, is that you can, you can do a little bit of everything to focus on your mind, your body, and your lifestyle to create lasting healing.
And I suppose what little, I've delved into this, I've done personal training stuff. So I always tried to integrate a mix of everything. When we do traditional Western medicine, we're treating what has already happened, and versus the holistic and wellness concepts, which is healing from the inside and preventing that which has yet come to pass. So therefore, even that can be used in conjunction to, either prevent exacerbation or a particular ailment from happening again.
Yeah, it definitely, we try to get to the root cause of any existing issues and deal with the imbalance that way, instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on it with medicine or surgery, because it doesn't actually get to the root cause. So that's what we focus on with Ayurveda, is root cause. And then we also help people manage their health if they're well, so that they can have vitality through their senior years and, live a nice, long, healthy life. I mean, I think that's the goal for everyone, is to feel their best now and in the future, and make choices now that will help them feel their best in the future. And there's this Ayurveda motto, I guess we'll call it, that if your diet is incorrect, medicine is of no use. And if your diet is correct, medicine is of no need. So even when it comes to herbal supplementation, if we have to focus first on the factors that are leading to you to feel the way that you feel. And if we can remove any causative factors, you might not even need herbs to feel better. So, and herbs are like a medicine, just a one that you can grow in your own backyard.
Right. So then this head cold that I'm experiencing this week, we can correlate, even if we can't scientifically causate. It's because I'm very active. I play a lot of hockey, but I also, during the course of a tournament, drink a lot of beer and eat a lot of garbage food. Therefore, the weekend following, my immune system is trash, and now I have a cold because of it. And that's completely on me because of my ingestion fuel choices.
I can give you an herbal remedy for that after this.
I'm listening, and I'm heading out to get it. Yeah.
You can take a little thyme, THYME, and you boil it up with some water until the water's by half, and then you take that water, you mix it with honey, and you take it like an elixir, like a syrup, 1 to 2 teaspoons every 2 hours. And I guarantee you, I can't make guarantees, but in 2 days time, you're going to feel 100% better. In 1 day, you're going to feel at least 75% better.
Can it be dried thyme, or does that have to be fresh thyme?
I mean, it's going to be better with fresh thyme, but if all you have is dry thyme, you can definitely make it work. You would just have to use a lot of it.
I'll go out and get the real stuff. And I don't, if Bree, my wife, is watching this right now, or if she watches the replay, she's going to be all up over me, because whenever I get sore throats, is like my thing. She's like, oh, just eat some honey, like always. And I'm just like, oh, that'll cure the virus for sure. I know it does actually make you feel better, but it's kind of just a running joke we have. So now that you brought honey into this, I'm done.
It's good for you. Yeah. Viral, anything viral, you can use oregano oil. It's called Oreganol is the brand, and they sell them in pills, so they're easier to take, but the liquid is way better. It tastes horrible. I'm really selling it here, aren't I? That's how you know it's working, is because it's almost like, if you're any drinkers out there, if you ever took a shot of 151, the way it burns going down, it's like that. So it's killing everything inside. Yeah. But even doctors will tell you, like Western medical doctors will tell you, it's great for any kind of viral issues, any viruses.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right. Well, Missy, what's wrong with you today? What can you bring that we can have Angelique prescribe a holistic herbal remedy for?
Well, you got me thinking for being exhausted all the time.
Oh, well,
and overwhelmed.
More sleep. Oh yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about
that's what I need to hear.
the stress today for sure.
Well, that sounds like a good segue into you starting the presentation.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for letting me come on and share with your audience about ways that they can, manage their wellness at work. And it all starts with how we deal with stress. Stress is the cause of so many diseases and illnesses. And I have to start with a disclaimer that none of this is meant to treat or cure, diagnose any diseases, and make sure you talk with your doctor before starting anything new. So now that we've all agreed to that, this form of medicine is practiced around the world by 1 billion people. So it is for sure a time-tested practice. It's been our oldest system of medicine around for 5,000 years. So we'll get started here with a little meditation, a little visualization. So if you're watching this, you'll want to sit up nice and tall in your seat. Bring your hands to your thighs. Palms can face down for grounding or up for energy. And just close your eyes for me here and take a deep breath in and a full breath out. You probably already feel a little bit better. And now imagine that it's first thing in the morning. You're heading to work and you get in front of your computer and you open your email. And the very first email you see is a catastrophe. It's something awful. And that will look different for each person depending on your situation. But it might look like an employee who's called out, or it might be that your number one customer left you a scathing review on Google, or it could be that your supplier isn't going to get the shipment in time. Or maybe your computer didn't turn on and you're having technical difficulties. And just notice how those types of situations has maybe caused your stress to increase a little bit here. And what does that feel like in your body? Maybe you feel a tightening in your abs or in your glutes, you're squeezing. Perhaps your shoulders are rising up towards your ears, or you're clenching your jaw. Maybe your breath is becoming shallower, or your heart rate is increasing. So a lot of things are happening physiologically to your body based on this perceived stress. Now open your eyes. Now that I've gotten you fully stressed out for the beginning of this presentation, let me tell you what this is all about, what's been happening here. Your body has a response to stress. And we know this because stress is one of the leading causes of heart disease, and heart disease is one of the leading causes of death. So in order to avoid those things, we have to deal with stress. Stress triggers the fight or flight response in the body. And that's where you get all of that tightening, the tension, and the increased heart rate. But long term, it can affect your digestion. You can have chronic fatigue, and it can lead to burnout. And of course, there's all of the mental stuff that goes with that. So, anxiety, depression, or just not wanting to get up and go to work in the morning, which is, if you're one of those people, it's Sunday, all of your friends, your kids, everybody's having a great time, and you're already stressed about the next day, it's impacting your quality of life. So we need to figure out how to address that immediately so you don't take that home with you. The stress impact on individuals at work is what we talked about, the mental health and the physical health, but also it leads to reduced productivity. So decreased concentration, increased errors, and lower efficiency. You might be dissatisfied with your job or calling out more frequently, hence the employee who keeps calling out, maybe they're stressed out, right? It can also lead to interpersonal conflicts. When you're aggravated and irritated, you're going to display that to the people that you work with, but also maybe even at home to your spouse or to your kids. And then at the extreme end of that, we have substance abuse. And it doesn't start extreme. I work in a rehab for substance use disorder. And, half the people in there have told me, Angelique, I was stressed out at work and I started drinking more. Like it starts as a glass of wine after work to unwind, and then it's 2 glasses, and then it's the whole bottle. And before you know it, you might have a problem. So, this is something that, we want to get a handle on before we get to that point.
Sure.
And then it affects your organization, whether you're the owner of the business or, you work for someone else. There's going to be decreased employee morale if everybody's stressed out, and that reduced productivity that we talked about. But the employer is also going to have increased healthcare expenses and turnover and employee complaints and accidents and incidents. And all of that leads to fewer profits. So it's going to affect your organization if we don't help employees deal with their stress in a healthy way. So some of the ways that we cope with stress as a society in general is we make additional poor choices. So I want you to, it's hard to think about this in a Western way because we're not raised to think of it this way. But in the East, we think of the stress as heating. It's very and actually, if you think of old cartoon characters, when they were angry, their face would turn red and blow up and smoke would come out of their ears. So I guess in some way we do incorporate that into our society about how it's heating. But when you're stressed out and you're feeling hot and angry and you have all of this heat building up in your body, and then you add something in like junk food or alcohol, those are also very heating. So you're just adding more fuel onto the fire. Rather than helping the stress dissipate or cooling those hot feelings, you're adding more to it. So any kind of poor food choices or lack of movement can do that. Sitting for long hours, if you're the type of person who's at your desk and you're freaking out and then you don't get up to use the bathroom all day, you ignore your natural urges. I mean, that's not great for your body, right? And you might skip lunch, or you might order in food that is terrible for you. And it's terrible, but you're looking for fast. And so, you're having these processed meals that are filled with God knows what. And then there's the people who go home. Maybe they ate that healthy lunch, who knows? And then they go home and then they spend time on their phone, on social media. And I am guilty of this too. And, whether it's mindless scrolling or you're looking at things that make you more upset. Current events, politics, it doesn't matter. This will get your blood boiling. Why do we use terminology like that? Because you're hot inside your body, right? So we want to start focusing on things that can cool you down. Now, some people do have healthy outlets for their stress, such as exercise. And I'm all for a good, hot, sweaty yoga practice because I teach hot power yoga. So I understand why people go there. I go there. But when you're already heated, you might want to reconsider doing something that causes you to sweat, which is your body's way of saying, I'm too hot, right? If you work out before work, great. But now you've already had that stressful situation. And now it's later in the day when you're supposed to be winding down and relaxing. And instead of choosing that nice yin yoga class or that simple stretching class, you're going for a run, a vigorous run where you're sweating. That's just adding more heat into the body, and that's causing the body some distress. So, you can lift weights and you can run and you can do all of these things, but maybe don't do it on the day when you're having the worst day of your life. So that's kind of where we go with that. Now, if you are trying Ayurveda, you might be focusing more on a holistic approach to stress. And Ayurveda focuses on balancing mind, body, and spirit, also environment in there as well. It stands for the science of life. That's what Ayurveda means. And as I mentioned before, it's been around. It's one of the oldest systems of medicine. So it's widely practiced and studied and peer reviewed. And all of this is to tell you that it works. It works to help us deal with stress. Each person has a unique constitution known as your dosha, and that affects your stress response. There's 3 main doshas. They're Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And a Vata person, when they get really stressed out, they worry, they get nervous, they have anxiety. A Pitta person gets angry. And if you're stressed, you're hot, right? And if you're already prone to anger, then you're extra hot. And I know because I'm a predominantly Pitta person. And Kapha people tend to internalize their stress. So that leads to depression and extreme fatigue, not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. And when we balance these doshas, whether it be through lifestyle, food, or any seasonal or even daily routines, we can help to reduce stress in the body. And it depends a lot on your unique dosha, how we balance it. But what I'm going to show you today are some solutions that everyone can use and will work for everyone equally. So I'm sure people have told you before that when you're stressed out or when something is going wrong, to stop and take 10 deep breaths. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yes.
You have? Okay,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I never think of it. I never remember to do it. It's 10 deep breaths. But I have gone for a walk. That has helped me. So breathing exercises can help you to relax, as well as eating better for long-term health. But chair yoga is a simple thing that you can do to improve things in the moment. And I'm not talking about senior citizens in a community center, taking chair yoga. This is something you're going to do at your desk chair, at your office, in the moment. And it's going to take you seconds or minutes. And that's it. So you can do it in the moment, or you can do it throughout the day, however you need to do it. And we're going to do it together here. So the first thing you need to do when you are stressed is to handle your crisis. If you're the person who is in your fight or flight mechanism, and you go and you ignore it, it's going to follow you around for the rest of the day, the week, the month, the year, whatever. You're just going to have to deal with it all the time. So my recommendation is always to handle the immediate problem, whatever that may be, and then do these things to help you relax and cool down. And I'm not sure why my screen looks like that, but I'm going to tell you what it is anyway. So the first thing you can do is chair yoga for 30 seconds to 5 minutes. And we're going to do it together. So I got you all worked up and anxious. I want you to come back to that comfortable seat where both feet are flat on the floor. Key is feet flat on the floor. This helps you ground. It helps you be like, okay, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm okay. And then you're just going to tuck your chin towards your chest. Simple movement. Good. And I want you to hold that there and notice how the back of your neck feels. So most people hold their stress in their neck and their shoulders. And that's because we have those creeping up muscles. When we get stressed, our shoulders start to rise. So doing this lengthens the back of your neck and can help you find a little bit of stress relief right there in this simple movement. And then I want you to bring your left ear towards your left shoulder, but keep your gaze down towards your knees. And you'll feel the stretch here on the right side of your neck. And if you don't feel it enough, you want to feel more, you can just scoop your right hand underneath the seat of your chair, just holding on to the seat, and that'll help move your shoulder away from your ear so that you can create more space in the side of your neck. And then you'll bring your chin back towards your chest and over to the other shoulder. So now right ear towards right shoulder. Good. And if you feel like you get stuck at some point, maybe you have a crick in your neck and it prevents you from moving your head smoothly, then you can pause wherever that crick is and you can kind of floss your neck, moving your chin up and down. Good. And then from there, we're just going to go back and forth. So chin towards chest, left ear towards left shoulder, chin towards chest, right ear towards right shoulder. Never going all the way around, which can be not great for your cervical spine. So we're just going to take these little half circles side to side. And then you can bring your head back to center. Don't you? You didn't want to stop, did you? it feels good. It feels really good to just.
It felt so good and relaxing too.
Yes, and that is the key, is to keep relax. And when you start to relax your body, it works in the flip side too. It relaxes your mind. So after that, if you have a couple more seconds or a couple more minutes at your desk, you're going to focus on your shoulders. So we're going to take our arms out to like a V and then bring the right arm underneath the left arm. So your elbows sort of nestle together. Now this might be enough that your elbows might not even nestle together, and that's okay. Depends on your body structure. But you can bring opposite hand to opposite shoulder. And I'm actually going to keep it this way because otherwise you won't be able to see me. But the other way is to bring the backs of your hands together or the palms of your hands together. And this is known as your eagle wrap or your eagle arms. And you'll lift your elbows up in line with the shoulders. You might already feel the stretch just by lifting the elbows up, but we're targeting that area between your shoulder blades. So it's from your cervical spine to your thoracic spine, which is a really tough area to stretch. And the more you round your back while you do this, like a little cat in your back, you will feel this stretch. If you want to move your elbows side to side or your head side to side, you can. But even just holding like this will be enough. And then we're going to do it on the other side. So you're going to release your arms, take them back out to a V, and then this time left arm under right. And once again, you can find your wrap, whatever that looks like. It might be different on this side than it was on the other side. And just breathe here. So this little thing you can do, there she goes. This little thing you can do at your desk will help you move your shoulders down away from your ears, lengthen your neck, and relax. Good. And then you can release your arms and just kind of shake it out. Now, your third and final posture, because I told you it was only seconds to minutes, is something that you want to do if you can close the door to your office. I mean, unless you know everybody in your office and you don't really care, it doesn't, or you work from home, it's fine. But if you feel like you need more privacy, you could even do this in the bathroom because it only takes seconds. So let's see if we can make it work with the video. You're going to stand up for this one. You're going to bring a nice little bend into your knees. Let's see. Boom, boom. All right. And then you're just going to hang over your legs. I'm going to keep my head up so you can hear me. But when you hang, I want you to think about letting your head hang as well. So if you're holding up your neck, then you're not really loose. As you're dangling here, you can bring your opposite hand to opposite elbow, or you can let your arms be loose like spaghetti. You can sway side to side. You can bob up and down. You can nod your head yes for yoga, no for no stress, yes again to keep it positive. The deeper you bend your knees, the more of a stretch you will feel along your back of body, and the less intensity you'll feel in your low back. So don't be afraid to bend your knees. And then when you feel ready, you can start to stand up nice and slow, rolling up. Good, until your head comes up last. Don't bend your head on your desk. And then make your way back to your feet. Good. So that posture is sometimes called ragdoll pose or or like I said, dangling pose.
Mhm.
It is meant to release all of the stress from your back body. And it also is almost like you're emptying out your brain onto the floor. So you're letting all of your stress roll off your back and leave your body. And that's why it works so well. Do you feel better after just a couple yoga poses?
I feel great.
Awesome.
I definitely feel much more relaxed in my body than I did like 2 minutes ago. I can feel this difference.
It's so great, right? And it's so small. It's just like a little thing that you can do to feel better all day. And if you do that every day, then it will help you deal with the stress and how it affects your body.
And this does not take hours out of your day. It does not take a commitment to go to a gym. It does not take it's routine. If you can get up and get a cup of coffee, you can do this.
Exactly. No special equipment, nothing, no money needed for this. And it's even something, even if you have any trouble with standing, you can also do the dangling from your chair. You would just widen your legs and fold between your shins. So it's really accessible for most people. And it's a great way to relax. So that is my second recommendation. And then after that, I would say you want to eat lunch. Don't skip meals, particularly not lunch. Lunch should be your biggest meal of the day because the sun is highest in the sky. And so our digestion is strongest at lunch. So if you are a meat eater, really fine by Ayurveda, you would want to try to focus your meat at lunch unless you're super stressed. And then I might avoid a lot of red meat in particular because meat can be heating. But all of your food should be warm and cooked. And this is what blows everybody's mind when I say this, because we have been taught that salad is healthiest, but salad is cold and it's filled with raw vegetables. And raw foods can cause a lot of digestion difficulty. We have a harder time digesting cold foods than we do warm foods. And that's why, in fact, when you go on a diet, they tell you to eat a lot of raw vegetables because it slows down your digestion. So we already know that it slows it down. We just don't know that the harm that can do. So we want to be able to eat cooked foods when we're having this bad, stressful day. And I'll get into that just a little bit more in a moment. And then, of course, breathe. And we already talked about how breath can really help you feel good. So moving right along, eating to manage your stress, you want to avoid caffeine overload. 1 to 2 cups of coffee is okay during the day. But if you're like, the pot is attached to your hands, you're actually making yourself more tired and more stressed. High sugar snacks and processed foods, we all know that these are not good things to indulge in on a regular basis, especially not when we're stressed. Focus on balanced meals with whole foods. You can
We might have lost it for a second. Missy, you still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I can barely hear you.
All right. Angelique's frozen for me, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll roll with it. Something's reloading here. Everything was going so well up until now.
I can't tell you the horror stories I have heard from people. It's mind-boggling. Like like pills that have made them lose their hair, or, I mean, you don't know that what's in the pill is in the pill unless you're ordering it from a reputable company. And it could have heavy metals depending on where it's grown, where it's produced. So you just really want to order any kind of herbal products from someone you know, a local herbalist, or from a company that you trust. And they are out there. But not all herbs are good for all people. It depends on your constitution and your dosha. So it's always best to check with a professional before you start taking herbal medication. And then water, of course, hydrate. It's important to hydrate. But herbal teas, which are different than herbal supplements because they are just a basic dose. You're likely not to change your life with an herbal tea. An herbal decoction would be a totally different story. But herbal teas are actually more hydrating than regular water. You get your electrolytes better.
We have a pause again. Angelique, I don't know if you can hear us. Just pause for a second because your screen kind of froze on us here.
1 minute later.
So, box breathing is a widely accepted way to breathe to help you relax. It's used by therapists all over. And you kind of imagine that you're in a box, or you're drawing a box, and with each inhale, you're counting to 4. So it's inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's like you're drawing a square. It's called a box. So box breathing. Simple but effective for stress. And alternate nostril breathing is more of an Eastern way to breathe. It's from the yoga practice. And we take our first 2 fingers and bring them just between the eyebrows, but a little bit above, like maybe an inch above. This is considered your third eye, or this space of intuition, and it helps with your focus. And then you'll take your thumb and bring it over your right nostril, and your ring finger over your left nostril. Don't squeeze, though. I want you to be able to breathe. And then you're going to take your right thumb and hold the nostril down and breathe in through the left. Close off the left, open the right, and breathe out. Inhale through the right. Close off the right, open the left, and breathe out. Good, that's 1 round. We're going to keep going. Breathe in through the left. Close off the left, open the right, and breathe out. Good. Inhale through the right. Close off the right, open the left, and breathe out. 1 more time. Inhale through the left. Close off the left, open the right, and breathe out. Inhale through the right. Close off the right, open the left, and breathe out. Good. Then you can just release your hands by your side. So this helps to calm the nervous system and improves your focus. And it does it for 2 reasons. There is the Nadi Shodhana means alternate nostril, but it's also working on both sides of your brain. So it's working on your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system as well, and the left and the right brains. And what that does is it balances the body. So if you are someone who is fatigued, Missy, or tired all of the time, right? You can use this breath to help energize you. But if you're someone who is amped up and stressed out in a way that like your heart rate is up, you can use this breath to relax you. So it works for all people all the time. And I usually recommend doing it 5 to 10 rounds. But if you're stressed out at your desk and you can only fit in 2 rounds during that day, it's still going to help. It's still going to make an impact. So this is easy to do during work breaks or before meetings to help you regain focus.
It seems like a little like it's a step up from the 10 deep breaths thing, because that's, everybody like knows that this is like more mindful and requires you to focus. So I think even that pattern disruption like kind of levels it up from the 10 deep breaths.
And that is also why the box breathing is so popular with therapists, because you're counting and you're drawing a box while you're doing it. So your brain is doing too many other things to focus on your anxiety. The kids that I work with children with developmental disabilities, and they love box breathing because it's simple. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. But for adults, we like this one because we're tapping into our point of focus. Your pineal gland is right here behind this spot in your head, and that's why you're able to trigger your focus better there.
Got it.
So do's and don'ts, small changes that you can make, and we've pretty much gone over most of this, but one thing we didn't talk about is taking a 5-minute break every hour to stretch or walk. I wear a Fitbit. Mine tells me that I haven't taken enough steps that hour, and I usually ignore it. So you want to try not to ignore it and just get up out of your chair, even if you just walk to the bathroom or walk to the water cooler. Like, you want to be able to get up and take some steps, and that can really help to reset your body's stress response. And then, of course, it gives you that time to recharge. So we don't want to overwork without rest, even if it's just a 5-minute break. Other changes you can make during busy times. I always say, if you're someone with kids and they play all the sports and you're out in the field watching them play sports, there's some really unhealthy food out there, right? Like a lot of nachos and hot dogs. Maybe you bring those little hummus cups, and yes, veggies are cold in that instance, but still better than nachos, right? And chips. But if you are out late at night, try not to eat late at night. I do know some people, like my sister, who's not following my guidance here right now. When she is stressed out and at her desk all day, she'll work until 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then she'll eat dinner. It's like the worst time of day to eat is right before you go to sleep, because your body's too busy digesting. It's not repairing, and it's not dealing with the stress of your day. So avoiding high sugar foods, especially at night. Maybe have your dessert at lunch rather than at night. And then incorporate these quick chair yoga stretches that we did before or after social events. If you're an introvert and a social event is like the worst thing ever, then this will be especially helpful for that stress. But even for us extroverts out there, it does help to relax the body after being around a lot of people, because you kind of like absorb other people's energy. And so this helps you let that go, especially the dangling pose. And then schedule time for physical activity during your busiest season. So I know for me, busiest season is January. As a yoga teacher, everybody's out there wanting to learn something new.
Yep.
And so I have to, coincidentally, the studio where I work, we actually do something called 21 and 31 in January. And it's a contest to hit 21 classes in 31 days. And it keeps me on track. It keeps me committed to my own practice while I'm helping support other people's practice. So I highly recommend scheduling in some downtime or physical activity. And then we talked about how stress is heating. So a cooling practice is going to help you combat stress. One type of breath work is known as Sitali pranayama. Pranayama just means the study of the breath. And with this breath, you inhale through the mouth and exhale through the nose. And we're used to inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So it's a little bit different. If you can roll your tongue like a hot dog, you can do the full version of this. Not everyone can roll their tongue like a hot dog. It's a genetic trait. I learned that in like 7th grade and never forgot it. So if you can't do it, don't worry. You can just breathe it in through your mouth. But it helps to cool you down, to breathe in that way and then breathe out through the nose. And then coconut water and cucumber slices are naturally cooling foods. Lime can also be a little bit more cooling, or kiwis, certain fresh, juicy, sweet fruits. And fruits are always allowed to be sweet. Just so you know, you're always allowed to have sugar in fruit. But there is the right time of day to eat fruit. And that's a story for another day. But cooling foods that hydrate and soothe you, always room temperature. You never want to have ice in anything, which is hard if you love iced drinks. Okay, an occasional iced coffee from Starbucks. They have that new drink. I know because I just had it today with the lavender foam with the green matcha. Oh my goodness, it's so good. So much sugar, so much ice. It's terrible. I don't recommend it on the regular. However, once in a while, it's okay. Like, we have to live our lives, right?
Exception to the rule, treat yourself. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm a fan of like incorporating things into your regular schedule and your regular lifestyle to help you lead a healthier lifestyle rather than changing everything. I never ask my clients to change everything. And in fact, I'm not a huge fan of like eat this, not that, because it's too restricting. We really want to just eat with our body and the seasons more intuitively. And mint tea is good, cool, or warm, and because it's naturally cooling. So that can help reduce stress and refresh the mind.
I'm not sure if I've ever had cool mint tea.
Cool mint tea.
I don't think I ever have.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very good. Because mint, you can go peppermint, you can go spearmint. There's lots of different mints, but they're all naturally sweet. So you don't have to add any sweeteners into a mint tea. You could, but you don't have to. So some of the things that we went over today, choose one or two and start there and incorporate that practice and get used to it, get comfortable with it, make it a part of your routine. And then you can add on. Consistency is key. So if you make this small change and then you do it forever, like it's going to help you forever. But if you try to change everything all at once, you're inevitably not going to keep up with it. And we all know that to be true. But I feel like we all try to change everything at once. We think if we're not going big, then it's not going to work. But that's just simply not true. Small changes can make a big difference, because stress doesn't have to control you. So you can take charge of your wellness by making small incremental changes to your health. So from here, if you wanted to learn more about your unique dosha and which herbs are right for you, which foods are right for you, and which lifestyle practices are right on your wellness journey, then you would schedule a private consultation with me, and we would go over all of that together and help you get back to balance. You can also have me come and speak to your team as this presentation or any other one tailored for your group. I do particularly love Rotary clubs. I'm a Rotarian. I'm the president of my Rotary club. So I would love to speak at your Rotary club if that's available. But even if you'd like me to come to your office or do a Zoom like this, I'm able to do that. I have a Discover Your Dosha workbook, and I can send you the link to that or the download for that if you want to shoot me an email. And let's see what else. My website is here on the screen. You can subscribe to learn more about different workshops I have coming up. I do have a yoga retreat, yoga safari, gorilla trek to Tanzania and Rwanda in August of 2026. So you have plenty of time to plan and save. However, I recommend, if you want to go to that, to put down your $500 deposit this month, because you will save big. We have an early bird special, and that's all on the website, and it ends April 30th. So if you want to take part in this healthier lifestyle in a 5-star luxury vacation, then you can join me in Africa. If not, you can also just follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Ignore the TikTok. It's old. I don't use it anymore. And Yeah, I think that is everything. Thank you so much for letting me share my passion with you and your audience, and I hope it helps someone. Namaste.
Absolutely. It helped me. Namaste. And it's applicable to not only the solopreneur, but, like going back to the first few slides you showed us about how this affects employees as well. It's something that it's valuable for your staff and for your team, for everybody to succeed, thrive, and, actually enjoy life with
Yes.
inside and outside of work.
It's so important. I know too many people who don't like what they do, and they're living for the weekend or living for the vacation, and because they're stressed out. And it's really just because they're stressed out. And you spend the majority of your time at work. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself while you're there so that you can enjoy the vacation and the days off,
It pays to be kind and be good to yourself.
It does. It does. Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing.